Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right. One wish I would have is to this day never end, because it's all about learning from these heroes, people who have made it, people who are successful, people who are making a difference in the world. I mean, we just had on Laura Bush. Later on, we're going to have on the CEO of Ocean Prime, Ocean Club restaurants, and about 40 other restaurants well known throughout the U.S. Thank you, too, for the feedback we continue to have from having the interview with the founder of Spartan Race. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And that's right here. Go to Eliances.com. All right. There's not a single person I've met who doesn't want to be healthier. Some go at it alone, some get help. But our next hero, he created something that definitely helps people achieve their goals, step by step. As a matter of fact, the company's created this. First of all, the word alone just creates just such a ooh and ah, because he is the CTO and co-founder of, you ready? FitBit. We have Eric Friedman. You can reach him at FitBit.com. Eric, how in the world do you come up with an idea like this that now is mainstream, that's on most people's wrists, that can be recognized worldwide?
Well, so certainly James, my co-founder and CEO, when we started this, that was not quite what we expected. Our goal was to make the world a healthier place. This was actually the third company we've founded together. And after the last company, we'd spent a lot of time at our computers typing a lot of code, started not being as fit. And we were kind of batting around ideas for the next company. And, James had picked up a Nintendo Wii. We had played a lot of video games at the end of our previous company. And, we were amazed at the way it just changed the way people interacted with video games. It took video games from something where you were kind of crouched over and hunched and very male-centric, hitting the controls, to something that got you up and moving, to the point where in my grandfather's nursing home, they had Wii bowling night. And, James and I were very passionate about building social networks to try and drive change. And we kind of thought that, hey, can we fuse this great new technology that can be put in these products, make it movable, so something you can take away from your home environment and use that to actually drive behavior change. And starting with us, and then with our friends, and then with our family. And, I think it's been amazing how quickly it went from zero to, something middle America to then global.
Now, you also have taken this company public, which is certainly an extremely difficult feat. I mean, and you've been very successful at what you've done. Tell me about what it was like when suddenly the fact was, hey, we are now public, because so much work led into that. And we've interviewed others that have taken their companies and the amount of work. But I want to know from you, what was the feeling like? And take us back to that time.
So I think the feeling was actually much more around, hey, it's great. Our employees will finally get rewarded. People will be able to look at the end of the day in the newspaper and see, hey, this is what FitBit's value is. So when we're having negotiation with potential employees, we can simplify that negotiation, really be speaking like we don't have to sell as much because there's facts on the ground. But beyond that, I don't necessarily know that it really changed things. Like, I would say that the things that actually make FitBit feel real is not the IPO. It's, all the emails that started trickling in that started coming at a slow rate and then started becoming an avalanche of, customer success stories where we change people's lives, we save people's lives. That's to me, the wow moment, far more so than kind of the IPO.
Now, we got a number of questions that are coming in from our listeners in that, and one of these is, how can you inspire doctors in the healthcare community to adapt with the new technology like FitBit?
Yeah, so I think it's very much a collaborative effort. I think there's this meme going around where the idea that, hey, technology is going to replace the doctors or the medical system. And I actually think it's more going to be an augment as opposed to a replace or radically change. Our current medical system is really good at dealing with, oh my God, you're about to drop dead. But it's not really good at dealing with you've got long-term care issues, or, how do I deal with healthy people and keep them healthy? And so I think that's where both technology and community can play an important role, both from a cost perspective. Doctors and nurses are extremely expensive to deploy in the field. And so how do you kind of take that down a level and add coaching? And then how do you take that down a level and add, your family and social network? And then how do you take that down another level and add technology? And I think those all combined will drive kind of the big health changes, especially with chronic disease driving so much tax on not only the U.S. healthcare system, but a global healthcare system.
I think it's truly amazing what you're doing and how you're creating people to be healthy, get up and move, right? I mean, that's the number one thing. Move allows you to be more healthy, and Fitbit does that. And you know what? So does the Eliances Hero Show. We move you. You're listening to me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And I'm moving with my friend Eric Friedman because he is the co-founder of FitBit. You can reach him at FitBit.com. Now, since you've come out too, a lot of other competitors have, come out with various things and trying to, copy some of the things you're doing in that. Where do you see things going in the wearables market? What excites you most about what's happening?
Yeah, so I think, Fitbit's in a very unique place. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But we're a unique place because we've got over 25 million active users. We've shipped over 84 million devices and at a global level. And so, I think there's really interesting flows of data. But I think where wearables in general go and Fitbits in particular going is, we've done a great job of making the invisible visible. I think the first big leap is, in some ways, my mother had a wearable back in the 80s. That was a pedometer that she wore on her thing that kind of mechanically counted steps. Our big leap was, how do we make these connected and how do we get the data in? Because with data easily going into the cloud, and it's something that's highly fashionable, something that people want to wear, then you actually get the data and you can drive behavior change. And so for the future of Fitbit, it's really about taking that data we're getting and then making it actionable. How do we kind of help people figure out where they want to go and help them get there on that journey? And, different people are in different places. When I was in my 20s, it was about, how do I bike 200 miles without kind of falling over? Now it's about how do I make sure I'm there and helping and pick up my children and go chasing them? For my father who's dealing with type 2 diabetes, it's about, how does he make sure diabetes is a controlled thing for him? And how do we make sure he's there to see his grandchildren graduate from college? And so I think health means different things. And to me, the goal of wearables in general is how do we make sure we identify people's goals and help them with a behavior change using that data.
Now, Eric, you mentioned that you had, a few other companies and stuff. How did you get so smart? But more importantly, what kind of advice secrets can you give to young adults considering becoming tech entrepreneurs and having a chance at being 0.25% of how successful you've been?
So I think several things. So first of all, there's never a good time to take the leap and try something. So I think, if you feel like you've got a great idea and, you think it's the right thing, jump. Don't wait. It's always easier to jump sooner than later. Life never makes it easier to become an entrepreneur. I also think it's really important to, for entrepreneurs, it's very easy to buy into one's own myth. And so I think it's very important to understand that luck plays a large role in success. Now, I think the art of being a successful entrepreneur is placing the right bets that are more likely to pay off than the other ones, and then making sure, hoping luck comes in.
That's absolutely phenomenal. And I got to tell you, Eric, you certainly didn't wait. You jumped in. You created Fitbit now, which everyone knows. You created something revolutionary that got millions off their sofa to exercise, including people like me. That's a hero. Eric Friedman, co-founder of Fitbit. Make sure you go to Fitbit.com, and when we return, we're going to talk food with the CEO of Ocean Prime, Ocean Club, and many other well-known restaurants. David Kogan with Eliances.